Hello, friends, and welcome back to the Babeology podcast. If you're listening on Spotify and if you're watching this on my YouTube channel, then welcome back to my channel. If you're new, my name is Gabby, and I have a podcast on Spotify, and this is a YouTube channel that I want to go ahead and include my podcast so you can see a video of me talking. So welcome back. If you're new, then go ahead and subscribe and follow this podcast if you enjoy it. You don't want to miss out on my new episodes. This is going to be a part 2 to the first episode that I uploaded, and that is just the basics of aesthetics. Like, what is an esthetician? Is it for you? And if you're considering it, this is a good informative, like, pros and cons to listen to. So the first part of the episode was just me basically telling you how I went over how I got started in the industry and like where I'm at now and the steps that I took and like kind of what led me here. So if you haven't heard that one, go ahead and listen to it. That's just kind of the basis of how I got to where I'm at now. But what I wanted to get into is just kind of like the pros and cons of being an esthetician, or if you're thinking of doing it, what you should, sorry, I'm adjusting my mic, what you should consider. So what you should consider before you like go ahead and pay for school and all of that fun stuff. So I'll start from the beginning. So if you're thinking of becoming an esthetician, the first thing that you are going to want to do is look at your lifestyle. So do you want to go to school? If you do want to go to school, what I had to consider for myself was, can I afford it? Which most of the time you can get financial aid, and some schools don't offer it, but the one I chose, it did. And I took advantage. I used the financial aid, and that's a big thing. And then also, let me just say that when you look for a school, don't look at the politics of the school or the unnecessary things about the school. So you want to just know that, one, what their passing rate is. Because at least you know if they have a high passing rate, okay, then I'm gonna get the information I need to pass. And most of the time you will, because a lot of the time you're learning on your own anyway, and a lot of the learning you do, it's kind of up to you to decide, like, okay, what do I need to know to pass my exam? So you're getting through school to get your hands on, and to get like your hands on stuff that you are going to be using in the industry. So they don't really teach you a whole lot. It's more up to you to actually go ahead and like learn everything. So that's a big thing. It's just knowing their passing rate for the state exam, knowing that if they have financial aid, and knowing if just you wanna know if like they offer knowledge in what you are considering. Like, for example, the school I went to did not offer much information on eyelash extensions, and a lot of girls had started school because they wanted to do lashes. So a lot of them were doing facials, waxing, and they were not interested, like not one bit. They were like, I came here to learn lashes and I want to be a lash tech. Like, I don't care about dermalogica, like I just don't care. So a lot of them, and some of them wanted to do sugaring. We did not learn about sugaring, like not at all. So for them, I feel like it was not a waste of time because you need your license, but it was a waste of education or that time to learn because they didn't learn what they wanted to learn. So that's something to look at. If you're focused on like sugaring or lashes, make sure that the school you choose at least covers that somewhere, and they don't just completely not even go over that. Because yeah, we did not do sugaring at all. Like, we had no training on that. So a lot of the girls that did want to do sugaring, they of course had to go and do their own trainings outside once they were licensed, and had to pay for that separately. So those are the key things to think of when you are looking for a school. It's not like how nice the school is. The school I went to was fugly. Like, they had a jacked up building. It was not cute at all. Like, it was ghetto. And when I went, they will sell you a dream. When you go to a school, like, they will make it seem like this is your dream school, but honestly, it's not. None of them are. The more expensive it is, like, maybe, yeah, you have a little extra here and there, like quality here and there. Like, something has to give though, because it's not perfect. Like, no school is perfect. You're not gonna love the school you go to, and if you do, then, like, I want to know what school it is, because I've never heard of anyone who has gone to cosmetology school and, like, absolutely 100% was like, I loved my school. Well, at least not for aesthetics. So looking at, like, how the presence of the school, it's not gonna determine whether or not you pass your exam. The instructors at the school, how nice they are, it's not going to determine if you pass your exam, because if they're not teaching you anything, you're not going to pass your exam. There's just the things that are important, basically, the essentials. So, can I afford it? The scheduling that they offered, is it going to fit for your schedule? Like I said, like, the passing rate, how many people have passed within the last couple years? What is the passing rate? Stuff like that. That's the main stuff you really want to look at. So all the other crap, it's not important. You're going to be there for a few months and then you're going to leave. So I'm glad that I chose the school that I did, because it was one of the cheaper schools. And like I said, it was ugly. It was not a nice school. I honestly could not wait to get out of it. There was drama. The staff had drama. Like, there's YouTube videos I made, like, when I first started actually making videos about becoming an esthetician, and I went over all of it. But yeah, it was drama. Like, that school was garbage, but I got my license, and a lot of it was because I did study everything I needed to know, like, up until I took my test. And a lot of it I didn't really care to learn when I was in school, because I was just ready to get out. I wanted to get my training, I wanted to get my hours, and I was just like, peace out. I will learn this on my own, because it's all in the book. I mean, everything you need to know, it's in the book. It's in your book. It's online. It's on YouTube videos. Like, that's all I really nailed down on, was study, study, study before I took my exam. Because during school, I was not interested. I was not interested. The environment sucked. So just know that school is not going to be where you learn everything. It's really not. It's just where you get your hours, where you get your hands on stuff, and you finish your time and study and then go get your license. So that's how you can go ahead and approach it. Find out if that whole part is for you. And if it is, and you're like, okay, I want to do school, then find the school. Once you finish school, like I said, you want to study on your own, and then go take your exam. Once you take your exam, most likely you'll pass. And once you pass, then it's up to you from there. So you can find your specialty, or dabble and see what you like. And whatever you like, kind of focus on something. That way you can go ahead and do your extra training from there, because no matter what you do, you need the extra training. Like, you have to go and take a lash course, because if you're going to do lashes, then you need to take a lash course. Some people take multiple lash courses and get certified from, like, 5 different trainers, so you can take lash courses and really get good at lashes. You can take skincare seminars. A lot of skincare brands offer them on their websites, like SkinScript, Glymed. A lot of them offer continued education, because in skincare, your skin is a never-ending, like, pot of just learning. There's so much to it. It's basically like anatomy. You have to know your stuff if you're doing skincare. There's a lot to know about acne, anti-aging, rosacea, pigmentation, scarring, all of that stuff. So you have to really know, and that's like each thing. Like, so you have to know different types of acne, the 4 grades. You have to know how to treat them. You have to know what's acne, what's rosacea, what is like an allergy, what is not acne. Some stuff looks like acne. Like, all of that stuff you have to learn on your own from training. And some trainings can get very expensive, whether it be lash training, whether it be skincare classes, whether it be makeup classes, like it all gets expensive. So that's why I say if you're going to do something, kind of one thing to kind of like see if you want to do, take a class. If you like it, take another class. The more you know, like you'll never know everything. So it's always good to keep learning. And I love to keep learning because it keeps you on your toes. There's always something you're going to not know. You know, I have never taken or watched like a webinar or something where I'm like, oh, I already knew that. No, I can always learn and take from someone else because everyone knows something you don't. So that's important to just consider once you finish school, is just what do I want to do so I can start specializing in it, so I can know what I need to know to get started and know what you're talking about. And it's hard. Like at first you might not have the money to do it, so even if you're just, and a lot of estheticians or professionals like kind of bag on YouTube, but you learn a lot from YouTube. And most of the time the only reason you want to do lashes, or you want to do nails, or you want to do whatever, is because you probably have been watching videos and it inspired you. That's how it was for me. So I would say do as much as you can for free. There's a lot of free webinars, there's a lot of free like kind of courses or introductory courses that you can take or watch or enroll and sign up, and they don't charge you a lot for those type of things. But when it comes to like an in-class, you're going to receive a kit type of thing, then it is pricier because you're getting more in-depth training. But there's a lot of free training you can take in the beginning before you start paying for stuff, before you start paying for actual like courses or one-on-one trainings with people. So I would say do that, like do as much as you can for free. And if you've watched all the videos that you can, then maybe it's time like, okay, well, I will save for this one training and save up for like one class that you could take, a one-on-one that you can take eventually. So that would be what I would do. That's what a lot of estheticians do in the beginning. They just take a bunch of courses, and then you get your certifications, and it looks and it feels better for you when you actually have your clients in the beginning, because you're like, well, I did take my trainings, I'm certified, and at least you have that under your belt when you have new people and they're kind of skeptical, or they're kind of like down talking you because you're new. You can be like, well, I've been certified twice now, so I kind of know what I'm talking about, at least a little bit. Even if you don't even know 100%, at least you have those certifications. When people see that stuff, they're like, oh, okay, yeah, like she knows what she's talking about. So and I'm not saying like act like you do, but sometimes you don't fake it till you make it, but you just gotta at least try to fake it a little bit. So all of us do it, no matter what profession you're in. You might not have all the answers, but you don't want people to think you don't know what you're talking about. So at least if you have some knowledge, you can take it from there and research, and like at least you'll know for the next one. So that's what I would say my advice is for school. And then for out of school, finding what your specialty is. So after that, it's pretty much up to you to figure out what it is that you love. And if you take a training and you don't love it, then take a different one. If you took a lash training, it wasn't for you, that's fine. That doesn't mean aesthetics is not for you. That means maybe try doing brows. Maybe you are a brow specialist. Maybe you are a lash lift specialist. And all of those things have their own training, like have their own knowledge, have their own supplies that you always have to have. Like everything is important. There's nothing that's less important than another. So if you specialize in brows, like you're gonna make a lot of money because you're gonna specialize in brows. If you specialize in lash extensions, everyone knows lash artists, lash techs make good money. So whatever you do it with a passion, because that's how you'll make your money. If you're trying to do too much at once, you're gonna realize that you don't really love doing any of it, and you're kind of trying to keep up rather than you being like, oh, I already know what I'm doing. Like, I got this. Every client that comes in, you're like, well, I can't wait. Instead of being like, I'm kind of scared because I don't know what I'm doing. I know the feeling of both, and that's why I'm focusing on my passion, which is makeup and waxing. And I do brow laminations and lash lifts, and I love doing that too, but those are not like extra in-depth services where, you know, you once you learn that and you've done a couple clients and you have your clients that come in for it, like you pretty much nailed it and you got it down if you're good at brows. But if you're like, no, I'm horrible at brows, like I can't do that, maybe you're good at lash lifts, do lash lifts. Maybe that's, you know, maybe that's for you. But for me, I do those, but those are for me, like those are more like extra for fun because I'm already good at makeup, I'm good at waxing. The brows and lash lifts are kind of like what I have for my extra, you know, like, oh, switch it up a little, basically. So that's my advice on specializing in certain services. I love doing makeup. I love waxing, like I said, so that's what I focus on. And now that I'm focusing on those, I'm realizing that I'm not nervous when I'm working with clients as much as I was when I was trying to offer lashes or when I was trying to offer, like, you know, just random services that I don't even really care for. Like, pretty much just lashes. Like, I was trying to make myself love it and I did not like it. So now I've accepted it, and before when people would ask me like, do you do lashes, I'd be like, yeah. But now I'm straight up like, no, I don't like doing lashes. I was doing them, but I'm sorry, I don't do them anymore. And if they really are like, oh, I wanted my lashes then I'm like, oh, okay, well, I can actually like see if I find someone local. You know, I'd rather do that than to be like, oh yeah, I do lashes, when really I know that if I book that person and they do come in for their lash appointment, I'm gonna come in like really nervous, annoyed, and anxious because I'm gonna know that that's not what I want to do. So that's my advice on that. So those are like pros and cons all mixed up together. But the basics, I'll go ahead and just straight up tell you basics. The pros of becoming an esthetician are you can work for yourself, you can work for someone else, meaning like an independent business, or you can work for a chain business being like a European Wax Center, Massage Envy, or something along the lines of that. There's other chains out there, but that's near me. Those are the biggest ones. If you work for an independent esthetician or medical office, you know, you can do, like, you can help with like medical aesthetics, so you can help them with acne facials and stuff like that, like at those kind of like clinic salon spas. So you can do that. That's a little more flexible rather than working like at a chain, because I feel like a lot of those have their own hours. You know, they kind of customize it for how it works for them. So you get to benefit off of that. And you might find one that works for you and you love, you know, you love their schedule, you love how much they pay, stuff like that. So it's up to you to really figure out where you want to work and how you want to work. You can do it on the weekends and have a full-time job. And a lot of people start out that way. I recommend starting out that way. That way you have money coming in all the time. You're not just sad that you don't have like a full book yet when you first start. You can do different things to, you know, like keep your clients coming back. You can do different deals, specials. It's up to you when you're on your own. And then also when you work for someone else, and you can put other people onto different skincare. Like, hey, come into, you know, the doctor so-and-so's office and get Botox. Like, I work here now. And, you know, then you can practice on people you know and stuff like that. And it's a little more comfortable. There's just so many pros like that. Obviously, who doesn't want to be their own boss? But at the same time, there's the cons. And the cons are, you don't know if you're going to get paid a certain amount. You have difficult clients a lot of times. You have good clients a lot of times. You don't always feel confident in what you're doing, and that's normal. Well, for me, I feel like sometimes I still have like imposter syndrome, I think is what it would be called, where I'm just like, why am I here? Like, how am I even here? You know, like, am I even that good? Like, you start questioning yourself. And it sucks because it really does mess with you mentally. You're just like, Am I even that good? Like, am I pretending? Am I faking it? Am I trying to be something I'm not? Like, and it's just brief, but then you kind of like, when you have those clients that come back and they're like, oh, I loved it, they kind of give you good feedback, then you're just a little more satisfied and convinced that you are that good and you did all this training, and if you really are trying, like, it's going to pay off for you and your clients will see that. So there's the cons, to it, but the pros, I think, outweigh the cons in this industry if you really love it. So for me, that's how it is. I have tough weeks, I have tough days, but the pros for me outweigh the bad. I've had annoying, difficult clients that I don't want to book again, but and it's hard when you first start out because you feel like, well, I can't turn away anybody because I need all the clients I could get. Finding clients alone is hard, but there's other ways, there's a lot of ways that you can source clients and find them and attract them and market without you having to pay a bunch of money. It's just you have to put the work in to do it. And a lot of the time in the beginning, like me, actually, I'm still in the beginning, you don't make a lot of money from the clients that are coming in, because a lot of them, like, I have a lot from Groupon. Groupon is, I don't want to say a ripoff, but you do not make what you're worth off of Groupon, but you do get the clients in and you get potential long-term clients. So that's the benefit of using Groupon. Other than that, Instagram, in person, like giving out business cards, like I've had a lot of people ask me, like, how did you get your clients, or how are you getting clients? I'm like, honestly, I'm not paying a marketer. I'm not going to pay someone to do it for me, because those people are going to come in and they're not hearing it from me. Like, they're hearing it from like an ad or something, which is cool. Like, yeah, you can get clients like that, but you're paying so much money. By the time you get like 1 or 2 clients, at least in the beginning, it's not paying for those ads. You're not getting anything back. So if you're doing as much as you can for free, like, Groupon takes a fee, but at least you don't pay up front. They just take it once you have a booking. Once somebody buys it and books with you, then they take their fee and they give you yours. So I'm going to do a whole other episode on Groupon, because that alone in itself is its own like beast. So I've learned a lot from using it, and there's a lot of people against using Groupon for clients, and there's a lot of people who are for it, but that's a whole other subject. But yeah, I mean, I don't know if I'm missing anything. I have a headache right now, but those are my pros and cons for getting into the industry. Like, that's just getting into it. The stuff to consider, the stuff that I thought about, the stuff that I really had to think about before I made the decision to go to school and all that crap. But it's honestly worth it. I wouldn't change it. I love what I'm doing, and I honestly have not been like happier, because when I was working a regular job, I could not stand it, and I dreamt of like this where I'm at, and it wasn't exactly this, but I knew that I don't want to be stuck in an office like working for someone. I just don't want to do it. And I love beauty. I just never connected it all together. Like, it never clicked for me. Like, this is your job. Like, this could be your job. It never clicked for me. And a lot of it was pride, because I went to college to do something completely different. I went to school to be a paralegal. My goal was to go to law school. And for me, like, being a makeup artist was not even on the same level. I was like, that's a low for me if I go to law school, or if I want to go to law school and then I just drop it all, like drop that whole goal to be a makeup artist, like, so that's where I was trying to not let it click or connect to actually be a career or a life for me. So if you have a passion, follow it. And a lot of people say, like, follow your dreams, blah, 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 but that's so cheesy. But it's true. It's honestly so true. If you follow your passion will lead you to your purpose or something like that. I don't know. I heard some quote. But honestly, it made so much sense. When I heard that quote, I was like, wow, that has been what I needed to hear for a long time. But I had never thought about it like that. So I think it was like, follow your passion and it will lead you to your purpose. Yeah, something like that. Anyway, That's pretty much all I have for this episode. This was the part 2, so I will come out with a completely different topic for the next episode that I upload. And I'm thinking of doing an episode on getting clients since I got into that. It kind of made me want to do that, so I can go ahead and talk about how I got my clients and all that fun stuff. But I appreciate you for watching and listening. Like and subscribe if you're on YouTube, and follow this podcast if you're listening on Spotify. I'm going to go and see if I can put the podcast on Apple Podcasts. I think I can, I just don't know how. I haven't done it yet. I literally don't know how to use a lot of what I'm using. I'm just doing the basics. So I appreciate you if you are listening this far. If you gotten this far and you're still interested, I appreciate you. And I love all of you that support me. So I will go ahead and let you guys go, and I will see you and talk to you in the next episode. And I hope you have a blessed rest of your week and a blessed rest of your day. And I will catch you on the next one. Bye.